Yo people, Rimakuro here, and today, as promised, I'm bringing a video about ultra graphical settings in Need for Speed World. Yes, what you are seeing right now is ultra settings, and by ultra settings I mean ENB Serious Mode, special anti-aliasing features, and an ambient occlusion, the thing that makes the lights more realistic, so they are not just thing that's nowhere near realistic like in Quake 2 or other 20-year-old games, but it's more like Battlefield and so on. Now, how to get those things up and running, I'll say later, I'll explain later, but I can say one thing now: ambient occlusion is NVIDIA users only, so sorry. But here, first demonstration. Ultra settings, top left, max plus settings. This is without ambient occlusion, but rest is max out, or top right corner. Down bottom left corner, max settings, your normal Need for Speed World maximum settings, the one you can just set in the game now. And very high plus is visual treatment off, but everything else in, aside of the ambient occlusion, which just takes a lot of your PC. So yeah, those are the settings that I'm showing. The Ultra is for the biggest machines. It has ambient occlusion, has ENB Serious Mode, it has everything. Max Plus is just without ambient occlusion. As you can see, the lights are more realistic on the Ultra. They are working. The shadows are there. It's not just a simple plane. And all of the settings aside from the max have that vibrant colors, not just plain old, stuff, just there, They're just more alive. Yes, everything is more bright, as you may have sometimes problem with reading some things like the treasure hunt day, but if you don't like too much bright, you can lower the brightness and it's good to go. Everything is adjustable. But there might be a situation you may not like any of those settings. Might it be for hardware or software problems or something, I don't know. If you're a Radeon user or something, I don't know. You may not like them, and well, there is a solution, in fact, because you may not like the very high plus settings that I show with the ENB mod. But there is another very high plus settings, which is pointed more at most wanted fans, people that like the most wanted graphics, and it is called very high plus most wanted. Now, I didn't crank down the brightness settings, thus it's fucking on the screen right now, but normally if you crank down the brightness, it's much more like most wanted. The Need for Speed World you normally have looks more like most wanted. It has that a bit of a yellowish look to it, which I personally very like, but some don't like. So there is a choice between the normal visual anti-visual treatment ENB that I use and the most wanted ENB that you're seeing here. Both are linked in the description in the Ryumakuro ENB's Need for Speed World RAR package, so you can just try both of them. Anyway, you just need to copy the Paulette file and it's ready to go, and you can change both because both are running the same settings. Maxed out 1080p resolution, optimized, those things. I did run on these settings for quite some while. There are videos that I use with this. However, I personally prefer the ultra settings the most. And however, there is one thing wrong, because some may say that the sun glare is a problem. I say not a problem for me. I like the sun glare. It's more realistic, because when a sun glares into your eyes, you normally have to, use something to not make it glare. So yeah, I like that. If you don't like, that's your problem, not mine. Sorry. And there is one small problem with the ultra setting, aside of the obvious performance impact on this, and it is the red paint. Well, some may say also blue paint, the blue color, but the main problem for me is the red paint because it has a pinkish color in tunnels, especially when you're in a tunnel in night, like here. You got that pink color. This is the worst place in the entire game when it comes to red paint. However, there is quite a very simple fix in fact for this, because you take a gigantic shape, stretch it for the entire car, and you use the top second from the bottom red color for it. It nullifies the pink effect. I left one vinyl with the bottom one in red color, so you see there's a pink there, but nowhere else on the car. Yeah, maybe a small pinkish glint there, but like I said, this is the worst tunnel here. Everything, even without ENB, even without the visual treatment, without in any graphical settings, you may get that pinkish effect. But now, how to get those ultra settings? First, you need to download yourself an NVIDIA Inspector program, because like I said, the ambient occlusion is only for NVIDIA users. Now you click on that configure button icon there, you type here needs, you go to Need for Speed World, and this is the screen that you'll get. And for ambient occlusion and compatibility, you set the demigod settings so that it will work properly without much of a performance impact, and the ambient occlusion will actually be properly implemented. Now you can choose from three settings: performance, quality, or high quality. I use performance because my GTX 460 can't run quality or high quality at stable 60 FPS rate, and here enable so that it will actually work. You click on apply changes. However, note that if there is no NFSW exe on that green bar, you have to get to your NFSW exe, which is located in the data folder. You click here, you pick it, apply changes to make sure that it is there, and it's done. Whenever you launch, the NVIDIA drivers will force the ambient occlusion in the game. So you get a Need for Speed World with ambient occlusion. But next is the user settings file, which can be accessed easily by typing this into the that bar. You go to Need for Speed World and settings and click this. I've already, like I said, with the ENB settings, this file is already included, but is optimized for 1080p resolution, so you may change, so you may want to open it. Anyway, you go to the video config section, you got some settings here, and the one that is interesting for you is the performance level. You need to set it to 5, so the game will actually use these settings in the settings in this file, and not some presets that it has. Now you want to add this post-processing enable line into the file if you want to modify the file yourself. I have a rain enable anyway. And if you want ultra or max plus settings, you set the visual treatment on 1. If you want to have very high plus settings, you set it to 0. Simple as that. Also, I keep VSync on off because it just eats FPS, and I can limit my FPS with drivers or any other program pretty much. Now, the ENB series mod. It's, like I said many times already, it's included. The link is in the description. If there will be any updates to this, I will make a video that is updated with the new links and so on. But you just take all of those, copy and paste it into the same folder that NFSW exe is in. Also, I have the SMAA injector, which is the special anti-aliasing feature. I'll link the main thing of that in the description as well. I'll running the low settings for the best performance, and my ENB series ini file is already configured so that it takes that file. Keep in mind that the D3D9 DLL that comes with the SMAA needs to be renamed to whatever that ENB series ini file will have in it. You can also change and name it however you want, just configure it yourself. But mine is pretty much set up like that. And that's really all you need for ultra settings, or whichever settings you like, and a different wallpaper to get back into the game. And that's really all. This is all you need to do to get ultra settings. Keep in mind that those settings are meant for more of a machine that can run Battlefield 4 at 60 FPS at medium settings, not something that runs Need for Speed World at max barely at 60 FPS, you know. You need a lot of resources to, you know, get more. Even though the SMMA injector is more efficient when it comes to frames per second than the in-game anti-aliasing and gives better effect, but still, the ambient occlusion really eats a lot from the game. Also, ENB along with the visual treatment is a problem. Now here I tried to use the traffic to show the actual benefits of ambient occlusion in the advanced lighting system, so that the lights are more realistic, but well, traffic wasn't as nice. But as you can see, the lights have an actual range on them. The lamp posts here, they have an actual range on them. It's not that, you know, they don't work and they just you know, they actually work in a better fashion than they normally would. You know, the game has a better immersion effect because of all the shadows that are now a bit better. Everything is just better, defined better, you could say. But yeah, that's really all. So thanks for watching. If you did enjoy, please click that like button. That will help a lot. Comment on maybe what settings you would like to use, what settings you are using, if you're gonna use any of mine, and so on. Share it with your friends. Maybe they want some new graphical settings, who knows. Subscribe to my channel, that will be very helpful indeed. And that's really all. So again, thanks for watching. Your driver and commentator here was Ryumakuro, and see ya!